Hey guys, how's it going today? Today what I got going on is this guy right here. Check it out. This is a Craftsman, believe it or not, drill press that I picked up, and I recently redid this guy. I didn't repaint it, but I fixed it up. It's a model 103.23622. It's a Craftsman, but it's labeled Dunlap. There were several makers that made this for Craftsman. I don't know. Atlas, I'm sure, made them. But this is a pretty nifty little drill press. I wasn't too familiar with these guys until I found this one, because I didn't have a drill press down in my shop here, and I was thinking, well, what the heck, you know, I could kind of use a drill press, and I don't want a big one. I couldn't find a Clausen variable speed benchtop, so I went out on the look for a American-made benchtop drill press, and this is what I came up with. I got this thing about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I paid 35 bucks for it because when I got it, the pulley on the spindle here was wallowed out. The screws came loose and the shaft got bad. And anyways, I fixed that. I did a video on that. I don't know if I'll post that before this one or after, but I did a whole series on repairing that pulley. And then this motor was also very noisy, and it made a clicky noise, and I wasn't quite sure what was wrong with it. It didn't have any power when you powered it up, and also it didn't have an on-off switch on it. So what I ended up doing is I just kind of cleaned it up. I thought it kind of looked cool the way it is. You know, this is the original color. The table here is in really good shape. There's a few little dings in it, but there's no drill marks on it, and it's still in pretty good shape. So I went through this guy and I just cleaned everything up. I took this out and I turned this all down on the lathe. Took this pipe out, the main tube here, turned that on the lathe, and just went through here and cleaned everything up after I got this spindle fixed. One thing I did do that I really needed was an on-off switch, so I'll turn it on here and you guys can see exactly how quiet it is. Like I said before, it was so noisy and it was underpowered, and it was so noisy that you really didn't even want to have it on because it was kind of uncomfortable to listen to it. But here we go. Pretty whisper quiet. And this is set on the slowest speed setting. There's 4 steps on the pulley. I think it goes all the way up to like 3,500 or 4,000 RPMs. It's quite a bit. And then this one is, I don't know, I'm gonna guess it's in the 800 range. It's not that much. But I'll show you a few closer shots of this guy. Alright, so here you can see the 4-step pulley. And this is a very simple design. It's, you know, this headstock, the spindle, and the ram feed here, and the motor mount. And this is all just mounted on this tube. It's a very simple design. You know, there's not much to these things if you ever want to fix one up or restart. Alright, here's the opposite side. And I just wanted to show you guys, when you switch these belts over, all you got to do is there's a bolt on this side and there's one on the opposite side. You unbolt them, and then there's 2 rams. These 2 rams are connected to this motor mount plate, and that slides. So you loosen these up, slide this in and out, and you change your speeds, push it back out, tighten them up. It's kind of a pain. You can make some spanner knobs, some like wing nuts or something there instead of this bolt, but they're not too bad, and cutting at this speed is pretty good anyways. For my power switch here, I'll zoom in a little bit. If you can see, I was kind of at a conundrum as to what I should do for a power switch. I didn't want to drill into my casting on my head here because it's all in pretty good shape yet. There's no cracks or holes in it yet. And I was sitting there thinking, well, this is the original motor. It says Craftsman on the back. It's got the nice 2-tone paint job. However, when this motor was not switched, it was just plug in to turn it on, which is kind of a pain. So all I did was I got a switch here off of another appliance I had sitting around. It's just a 120 volt on-off switch. And I took the cord and I spliced one of the wires and spliced it into my power switch. And then I took a, what is this, 3/16 by 1 inch piece of aluminum stock bar, and I drilled a hole for my motor mount bolt, so that this bolt right here for the motor mount is holding this in place, and then just drilled a hole in for my power switch. And it actually works pretty good. It's in a fairly nice, convenient location. I'm right-handed and you're using your feet here, so it works pretty good. The only thing I haven't done on here yet is I would like to have another switch, because I'd like to put a light up inside underneath, up in here. Alright, so here's looking from above. Not much to look at, but here's the ram that goes through. This is the top brace, and then the bottom brace has a compression clamp that just clamps on and holds it in place. So this whole assembly, I can do it right now, will slide up and down. And it's kind of a chore to get it back up, but get it back up where you want it. Somewhat in the middle, tighten her down. So you can move this whole assembly up and down, which is kind of nice, and you can swing it side to side, which I don't know what you need to do that for, but maybe, you never know, if you want to just drill something off to the side. If you can see here, if you look closely, there's my bushing in there that I made, and I'm gonna, no, it's okay, I'm gonna leave it. It worked out pretty good. And then the 4-step pulley. Alright, here's my table. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. I have not got too wild with it cleaning. All I did was take the major, there was a little bit of rust on here that kind of stained, so I cleaned that up, and you can still see the machining marks on there, which is kind of nice. So the nice thing about this, like a lot of other drill presses, if you need more space between your table and your drill, swing that guy out of the way, and then you got your bottom foot for a table here that you can mount whatever you want to mount on there, so you can get a little more depth with your cut. And then this, of course, slides up and down. Easy peasy, man. Alright, let's drill something. Not that it's nothing any of you have never seen before, but what the hell. Let's check it out. Alright, so here's just a same aluminum I used up on my switch there. And for all you newbies there with drill presses, if you're going to drill, make sure your bit and you don't have a vise, which I'm getting a vise here soon, but make sure your drill bit doesn't drive down into your table. So we're just going to make a quick and easy cut here and check it out. And a little bit of lubricant. My drill bit isn't the sharpest, but a little bit of lubricant would help. There we go. Nice round hole. Works pretty good. Alright, so there you go. There's my little Craftsman or Dunlap drill press. So I just wanted to show you guys this to let some of you newer guys know, that you know, it doesn't take a lot to get into some of this stuff. Like I said, this was 35 bucks off of Craigslist, and it's made in the US, probably in the 60s, but you know, as long as you can find one, and the bearings are pretty good in this, you know, there's a few things to watch out for when you find one of these, but for 35 bucks and about 2 hours of my time cleaning this thing up, I got a nice little benchtop drill press. And this, I would say, in quality wise, it far exceeds like a Harbor Freight or a Chinese cheap, you know, Delta or whatever. And there's no way you're gonna pick one of them up for 35 bucks unless somebody doesn't know what it is. But so, you know, you can find one of these on Craigslist. You can have yourself a nice little drill press, a little bit of work. One thing I didn't mention is I did take the motor apart and I cleaned it up. And I don't know what you call the big, you know, there's a shaft and the big stator or whatever it is, the coil. And I just took some sandpaper, and I could have stuck it on my lathe, but I didn't have the correct chuck for it. So I just took some sandpaper, and because it was rusty, and cleaned that up and cleaned up some contacts, and it was dusty in there. And it went from being a really noisy motor, and I think one of the parts came loose. Obnoxiously noisy to pretty quiet, and it didn't have power before. Now it's got plenty of power. As you can see, it cut right through that aluminum. 35 bucks, a couple hours of time, nice drill press. So there we go. Just so some of you new guys that think you know, I can't afford this stuff or I don't have room for it, most anybody can afford 35 bucks, and this takes up about 1.5 square feet on a bench, so it's doable. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. I sure appreciate it. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. It's awesome. I never thought I'd be at this point in time. So thank you to everybody for subscribing and watching my videos and commenting, and I appreciate all your feedback and everything. It's awesome. So if you like that, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, comments and questions are always welcome, and I try to respond to you as soon as I can. So till next time, be safe on your machines and shoot safe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.